10 Traditions of Unusual Marriage of different cultures. The customs and traditions of marriage vary greatly from one culture to another, from one religion to another, from one country to another. Many wedding ceremonies involve the exchange of wedding vows, the presentation of a gift, a ring, flowers, and so on, and the announcement of the marriage by the person in authority. Many cultures adopted the Western tradition of white wedding, corresponding to the wedding of Queen Victoria, in which the bride wore a white wedding dress and veil. However, here we will discard some of the amazing marital practices around the world. Marriage is a constant. In any tradition it comes with a list of purifying rituals and practices, including the old agreement, something old, new, something borrowed and blue. It is one of the few similarities between the two worlds. In many cultures, wedding planning involves booking, getting a wedding dress, and inviting guests. But with the following unusual and bizarre wedding customs it becomes clear what different weddings can be like. Here are 10 weird wedding recipes from around the world that go beyond the white dress and cover. The crying culture of the people of Tujia, China. Crying marriage practice. Tutsi Chinese people are preparing for the wedding 30 days before the wedding day with tears in their eyes. The bride spends an hour each day crying. After 10 days, she is joined by her mother, and 10 days later, her grandmother, and this continues until all the women in the family cry every day for an hour. Happily, it is not an act of sorrow, but this is actually described as a sign of joy and deep love. Because all the women are crying in different tones, the sound collected sounds almost like a song. 9. The culture of kissing. Sweden. Unusual wedding traditions. No, not only between the bride and groom, but as a guest you may be lucky enough to plant the bride or groom yourself. At a wedding ceremony, it is customary for the groom to disappear during the ceremony for any reason, and then all unmarried young men are allowed to kiss the bride. The same goes for the bridegroom and the invited guests when the bride leaves the room. Sweden's unique culture and one of the most unique wedding customs is without a doubt. 8. Spitting the bride. Maasai Nation, Kenya. The bride's head and chest. One of the most bizarre wedding ceremonies of Kenya's Maasai tribe. At a Maasai wedding ceremony, the bride's head is shaved off and the lamb is anointed with oil. The bride's father blesses his daughter by spitting on her head and breasts. Spitting is a sign of shame often, but in the Maasai tribe it is thought to bring good luck. She then walks with her husband and does not look back for fear of turning a stone. The husband does not stay in the house for the next 2 days and his mother-in-law shaves his head. This is the first time a wedding has been declared a lifelong union between a man and a woman. 7. Kumbh Vivah. Manglik. Dosh. Indian tradition. Kumbh Vivah. Kumbh Vivah is one of the most amazing rituals performed in the Indian spirit. It is a process used when Indian men and women have Manglik Dosh. This is a wedding between Manglik and can be a statue of Vishnu or a peepal tree or a banana tree. Elsewhere, Kumbh Vivah is the supposed wedding of a girl with a pot of water. According to some Indian astrologers, Manglik dosha has a detrimental effect on marital health, causing occasional misunderstandings and the sudden death of one of the partners. To cancel these results, Kumbh Vivah can be performed before marriage. Kumbh Vivah is like a normal marriage. The Manglik Dosh girl has to perform this ritual like a real wedding. She should wear a wedding dress and jewelry and a necklace. The parents make kanyadan and fear are also taken with the pot of mud, all the same as a real Hindu wedding. Later the girl has to change clothes, remove the rope, and the rope is tied to a mud pot and the pot is later drowned in a river or lake without informing anyone. When the culture is over, the girl is out of Manglik Dosh. Now she can enjoy herself and have no more problems after marriage. Bollywood actress Aishwarya Rai had one such wedding with a tree before marrying her husband, Abhishek. 6. Hitting the bridegroom's feet. South Korea. Unusual wedding traditions. The custom of kicking the groom's feet took place after a wedding ceremony in South Korea. Friends of the bridegroom take off his shoes and tie their feet together with a rope or a belt. Then they lift his legs up and begin to spit on his feet with a stick or dry yellow corvina. Yellow corvina is a type of fish. It is believed that this will make the groom stronger before the first night of marriage. It can be painful, but it is more fun than cruel. It is actually a form of entertainment, the purpose behind which is to test the strength and knowledge of the groom. He is often questioned during the test. This humorous tradition plays an important role in Korean wedding culture. 5. Carrying the bride beyond the frontier. Carrying the bride. Amazing wedding habits. The custom of carrying the bride on the threshold is not a new tradition. It goes back hundreds of years and has a few different origins. Another common belief is that this practice originated in Central Europe, where many believed that the bride was at great risk of evil spirits at her feet. To avoid any embarrassment, the bridegroom would carry the bride to his new home. Also, some ancients believed that the bride had to show that she was not crazy about leaving her father's house, so she was dragged to the threshold of her son-in-law's house. 4. Get rid of ghosts by marrying animals. India. Animal marriage. In India. In some parts of India it is believed that ghosts can inhabit certain people in the living world. Most notably, girls born with a baby tooth are already bursting at the seams, and girls who are worse off or have facial expressions believe they have ghosts. The only way to break this amazing curse is for a girl to marry an animal, usually a goat or a dog. They control the lavish wedding ceremony with alcohol and dancing. This is nothing but a funny ceremony, and the girl is not expected to follow this animal. It is only to cast out evil spirits. You are free to marry a man in time. Black culture. Bride. Scotland. To darken. Unusual wedding traditions. The darkening of the bride is a very old Scottish tradition. It is part of the hazing culture that really happens before marriage. The bride is stunned, with her hands lowered by the most unhappy friends she can have, and covered from head to toe with all sorts of mischief. It could be anything: spoiled milk from the back of your refrigerator to the tar and feathers. The custom of covering the bride and groom with volume, soap, and flour was provided to ward off evil spirits. This is one of the most awe-inspiring rituals of marriage in some parts of Scotland. 2. Kais a la Kachu. The habit of kidnapping brides. Unusual wedding kidnapping traditions. Kais a la Kachu, meaning to take a girl away, is a very good practice. It has been done throughout history throughout the world. The custom, also known as kidnapping the bride, marriage by kidnapping or marriage by abduction. It is a custom in which a man kidnaps a woman and wishes to marry her. A young man who abuses a woman by force or deceit usually goes with friends or male relatives. They take her to her family home, where she is kept in a room until female male relatives convince her to wear a married woman's scarf as a sign of acceptance. The kidnapping of the bride is said to have taken place in other cultures, such as the Romans, known as the Gypsies, and in Kyrgyzstan. 1. Money dance. Guests pay to dance with the bride. Dance with the bride. Money dance is an event at certain wedding ceremonies in various cultures. It was founded in Poland during the 1990s. During the money dance, the male guests pay to dance briefly with the bride, and sometimes the female guests pay to dance with the groom. At the wedding, the bride will dance with her father, while the relative takes off the pinafore. Guests who contribute to the fair get a chance to dance with the bride. At the same time, the dance involves bridesmaids and other ladies dancing.